This is my 2023 Husqvarna Svartpilen 401 on the day I picked her up in June last year. It had those mirrors that are straight off your nana's Vespa. It had a stalling / power problem that I would soon work out plagued every single Husky of this series, and it only had 1,300 Ks on the clock. Today it's got over 11,000 Ks on it, and she looks exactly like this. Today I'm going to be taking you guys through every single mod I have done to the Black Arrow so far, and I'm going to be putting them in order of how important I think they are to my build on this motorbike. If you are interested in any of the parts I list today, I'll be putting them all in the description down below. Mod number one is the most important upgrade you can make to this model of Svartpilen, and that is to fix the stalling / power problem. Now, I have seen online so many people suffer issues with this stalling when taking off in first gear. Personally, I didn't suffer that too much. It was only in third and sixth gear. I had this really weird section sort of around about 5,000 to 6,000 revs when I was kind of giving it a little bit more of a go. It'd almost choke, feel like it's like running out of fuel or like it was misfiring or something. But luckily, a quick Google search and a quick look through the forums turned out to be a super easy fix, and this right here is the easy fix. Now, this particular version is the Fuel X Lite, which means that it basically has its own set of parameters that it operates to. You can get a Pro version where you choose how it operates, but I've found that literally just installing this has made an absolute world of difference to how my motorbike runs. Now, even on the box, this thing states that it auto-tunes the engine to its best operational parameters to ensure that the engine performs in the safest and most optimal zones. Honestly, that is such an understatement for how cheap and easy this thing was to install. This almost feels like a brand new bike. There are absolutely no issues with any of the motorbike running. It feels like it has so much more power down low. If you're coming into a corner and you're a little bit high geared, it doesn't matter. This thing just revs through those low revs and it just puts you out the other side. It's such a smooth acceleration. Honestly, like I said, it literally made it a new bike, and this is absolutely number one in what you should be doing to your motorbike when you first get it. Now, this is the little fuel unit here. It is honestly plug and play. I am not mechanical by any means, but it took me about half an hour to install, and like I said, it is an absolute game changer, so definitely something you should be doing to your bike if you have this model of the Svartpilen. Probably also applies to the 390 Duke, the KTM, because it runs the exact same engine and exact same setup. So all you have to do is run the cables to your battery, and then the other end of the cable comes down through here into this little cover here. You unscrew those, and then there's the plug and play section behind. You literally pull one cable out, plug the fuel optimizer in, and then plug that cable back into the back of it, and then it is ready to go. All you have to do to make sure that it is working is fire the bike up. I'm inside a closed garage, so this is probably going to drown me out with fumes, but it does do a little startup sequence of red lights. And there it is, green. So now that's operating properly. Essentially, when I start accelerating, that is working out exactly the right mixture that it needs to do, and honestly, it does make a world of difference. Now, this upgrade is actually kind of a two-parter. The other thing that you do want to upgrade is your air filter. So this is actually a two-stage DNA air filter. It pairs perfectly with the Fuel X, because if you're getting more fuel in, you want to get more oxygen in to make the perfect ratio so that you get lots more power. It's very important that you do not do the air filter upgrade without the fuel, because if you're getting too much air and not enough fuel, you will blow your engine. But this, another super easy update. If you're used to looking at the top of the normal air filter housing, it is just a solid plastic lid. And basically what that does is restrict the airflow in. There's another air filter in underneath this. You take that cover off, put the new air filter in underneath, and then this becomes the top of your air filter. As you can tell, a filter is going to let in a lot more air than just a normal plastic head. So this is definitely another upgrade you need to do with this, but making sure you do not do this first, because you will blow your engine. And honestly, the really cool thing is this makes your engine sound so much tougher because it's sucking in so much more air. So definitely these two go hand in hand and are absolutely 100% the first upgrade I would do to this bike if I was doing it all again. Now the second one has absolutely nothing to do with performance. It's all about looks, and it was changing out these god-awful mirrors that come stock on this bike. I do not know what they were thinking, and I'm sorry if you do keep your mirrors on your bike. I just personally think that they look ugly, and I really wanted to keep a sleek form factor across the top of the bike because this thing just looks awesome from front to back, and these mirrors sticking up really kind of ruined that look for me. So that was one of the first things I actually did on this bike. I ended up with some bar end mirrors. I got a couple of cheaper ones. The first set I smacked into a road marker and snapped them off. The second set, if you haven't seen in Tasmania, fell over and smashed on the end. So I decided to go with these cool wraparound ones. They can go on top or on the bottom, whichever you feel is the best. I've tried both. The vision kind of doesn't really change too much. It's just in a different position. It's all about whether you prefer them on top or underneath, and I kind of can't really decide, so I've changed them around a few times. They're also got like a little bit of a blue light covering over them, so when you're riding at night, car headlights shooting at you from behind aren't actually too bright. They're not really distracting. So I really like these mirrors. They are a little bit more expensive, but they do come from Amazon. They were here in absolutely no time, and I think that they make the bike look heaps better. Now mod number 3 is definitely not as sexy as the first two, but more important in the fact that it's so cheap and so easy to install, and it can avoid an absolutely catastrophic failure when you're in the middle of nowhere, and that is copping a rock to your radiator. So putting a cool little lightweight guard over the top. Some of them have cool designs in it, like this 401. Some of them are just a plain piece of metal across the front. But honestly, for how cheap this was and how easy it is to install, you would be absolutely kicking yourself if you copped a rock in the middle of nowhere and couldn't ride out because you just hadn't taken the time to put something so simple over the front. So yeah, this ranks really highly at number 3 for me. Definitely a good one. Now the next mod is one that fully changes the identity of this bike from an urban scrambler to a wannabe adventure bike, and that is these Pannier Racks. Being able to carry gear with you changes this from a single day rider to an overnight or even into a week-long ride like the one that I did in Tasmania, where we took 6 days to get around that state. Having my tent, having food, having spares, having extra clothes is super important for any kind of adventure riding, and such a cheap, easy to install upgrade is absolutely amazing for a bike like this. As soon as you realize how capable this motorbike is, you are going to want to take it on multi-day adventures. And this cheap upgrade, easy to install with 4 bolts underneath this rear seat and 1 on each side foot peg. Very easy to do, just like every other mod on this bike. I definitely recommend it, and they are definitely a game changer for the Svartpilens. All right, now sticking with the theme of adventure riding, the next most important mod for the way I ride are these little knuckle joints here. This is a bar riser. So what it does is it brings the bar from down here to up here. By bringing it up, I think it's 30 mil and back 20 mil. All you have to do is pull these bolts out of the original bracket, pull the bar up, add these little inserts on each side, and then put the bar back in top. You don't need any other bits than what comes in that cheap little kit. Another super easy install, and it completely changes the way you ride this motorbike by actually being able to stand up. Because of the initial setup of the bar, it's more set up for an urban ride. You cannot actually stand up and hold the handlebars without completely arching your back. So just adding these tiny little bits in here, they're super sturdy, super easy to install. It allows me to be able to stand up when riding up hills or coming up to any rough sections. Again, another game changer for the off-road variant of this motorbike. Another important thing with multi-day rides is being able to charge your phone and charge your battery bank. And I just chose this cheap little 12-volt setup off Amazon. All it does is plug straight into the battery, and it has a little switch on the side here, and it also gives you your battery level, so 12.8 volts. It's got 2 USB-A ports. One I use to charge my phone, connected here on my Quadlock. The other one I've only used once, and that is just to run a second USB line to my tank bag, which had my rechargeable battery in it, and that just gives me enough battery to charge all my cameras and everything at the end of the day. So having the spare power in your phone for mapping and to be able to listen to music is super important on those big rides. So another cheap, very easy to install upgrade that I would definitely recommend. Now the next mod serves two purposes, one to make it look cooler and two to make it sound cooler, and that is upgrading the stock exhaust with one of these slip-on exhaust. This is an Akrapovic. Jokes, it was a rip-off Akrapovic. I call it the fake Akrapovic. I got it off eBay. It was like less than 200 bucks. There's two pieces of pipe, one bolt up here and a little joint down here is all you have to do. It took me maybe an hour. Super cheap, super easy to install. It looks a lot better than the stock exhaust. You can tell it's not the best quality. I've already had to apply a new layer of spray paint to it because it got scratched up by my panniers from the ride to Tassie. But the biggest thing that it did for me was change the sound. I wasn't really happy with how the bike sounded when I was recording it for my YouTube videos. So I upgraded to this exhaust and it really does give it a lot more of a throaty sound. It almost sounds like a dirt bike now, which I kind of really love, having a dirt bike background. But I really love this slip-on. Again, super easy to install for someone who's not very mechanically minded like me. Maybe took an hour. So definitely worth it, and definitely a good upgrade to have on your Svartpilen. Now the next one is definitely a personal preference, and that is just changing some of the aesthetics of the motorbike, and it is removing this little section on the rear here that used to hold my number plate to having a Fender Eliminator kit that brings it up here. Makes it look, in my opinion, a little bit more like a scrambler. Instead of having the little mud guard across the back here, I've got everything sitting up high. These are still the original indicators and the original number plate light. It did come with its own light, but instead of redoing the wiring, I just drilled the hole a little bit bigger and then slid the light in through the back there. And this thing holds onto my number plate pretty awesomely. Although you can see it's pretty bent, it has ended up underneath my motorbike. When I've hit some jumps, the wheel has obviously hit this and dragged it in underneath. So you definitely need to make sure it's at the right angle or you'll end up with a mangled number plate like I have. But the downside is that I actually do often end up with a bit of mud spray on my back or on my backpack because you are missing that rear section of the motorbike. But for me, it is worth it for the look. I really love how this bike looks from the rear rather than having that section on the bottom. Again, it's a personal preference, but I prefer this setup, and definitely a cool, cheap upgrade. Another one that's really easy to do that completely changes the look of your Svartpilen. I almost actually forgot to add this one, but having a Quadlock mount is super important for any rides where you need to do mapping, or if you just want to be able to pull over and change your song or answer a phone call or be able to message without pulling your phone out of your pocket. This is one that has a vibration dampener on it, and I actually also selected the one that is actually a mirror mount. I think it's meant for like mirror stalks, just because this little bar here is so much skinnier. I didn't go with the actual handlebar holder because I wanted it to be right in the middle, and it's perfect here when my phone is horizontal. I have a really good view of my mapping and then a really good view of my speedo. So this is definitely a good little upgrade, and pretty much everyone has a Quadlock, so they're definitely worth it. All right, the last mod on the list is also the most recent one that I have installed on my bike, and that is this little windscreen. I saw some photos on Instagram of an exact same Svartpilen to mine, and I asked the dude where he got his windscreen from, and he sent me a link to AliExpress. It was super cheap, bit of a pain in the ass to install because you have to fully remove your speedo and kind of pull it apart and put the clamps on the inside, but you know, it kind of changes the look of the bike for the better, I think. I really like how it looks. If you've seen any of the new versions of the Svartpilen, they all have a cool little windscreen on them. As far as functionality goes though, look, I wouldn't rush out and do this again because it doesn't seem to make too much of a difference. I thought that maybe on the freeway it might take away a bit of that air punching you in the chest or hitting you in the helmet, but it doesn't really seem to do too much. It's more of just an aesthetic piece on the motorbike, but I feel like it kind of suits the rest of the look, so I'm pretty happy with it, and definitely one that I will be leaving on. That is every single mod I have made to the Svartpilen in the 9 months and 10,000 kilometers since I purchased it. Honestly, everything I do to this bike has been an absolute breeze. I've loved modding this thing from someone who is not very mechanical. It has been an absolute blast. Changing the look, changing the functionality, changing the power, changing the sound. It feels really cool to be able to do all that myself and not have to fork out an arm and a leg for it. Again, this was a cheap bike and a bike that absolutely blew me away on how capable it was. I will never stop telling you guys how much I do love this motorbike. There are so many more mods that you could do to this thing, and a few more that I will be doing in the near future. So please stick around if you do want to check those out. Please consider subscribing. I put a lot of effort into making these videos. And yeah, if you've made it this far, thanks heaps for sticking around, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.